Two more cirrhosis complications to discuss. Jaundice. So jaundice is the result is a yellowing of the skin. You'll kind of see it manifest in perhaps the eyes, the whites of the eyes first. And then you might end up seeing it in fingernails as well, and then it may end up affecting the entire skin. What's happening pathologically is that the liver is primarily what helps break apart and detoxify red blood cells. So red blood cells have a lifespan of about 3 to 4 months. About 120 days or so. And then at the end of that, they travel to the liver where they are then broken apart. A byproduct of their broken apart is bilirubin. Now, bilirubin is yellow in pigment. And generally what happens with this is it's secreted into the intestine to be excreted. It may go into the bile duct, through the bile duct into the gallbladder to be stored for to help create bile. Now, if there's a bile duct blockage, or if just the liver is unable to filter those red blood cells. As the red blood cells die, if this yellow pigmented bilirubin is not filtered out, it starts bypassing and going through the blood and ends up depositing in those areas that are very easily visible, like our eyes, like the fingernails, where you're seeing through them and you can see the yellowing of that pigment. It's very sensitive to light, which is why occasionally they will have a light put on a patient, especially if this occurs in an infant, if their liver hasn't developed enough to make sure that that bilirubin is broken down. They will put a light on it and help break apart that yellow pigment and getting rid of that yellow, which is another reason why a bilirubin blood test should be protected from light, as it retains bilirubin. Hepatic encephalopathy. Going the other direction here, hepatic encephalopathy. This has to do with the damaged liver not filtering out the waste out of our blood like it should, nitrogenous waste. So nitrogenous waste is backed up in the blood, and the main one that really causes us damage is ammonia. So this usually goes out in our urine or in our, in our feces. And as it's passed out, it's eliminated from the body, right? But if the liver isn't able to detoxify that, it ends up going through the blood. It goes up and it ends up in our brain, where very susceptible to ammonia. It will end up causing brain damage, which will manifest as confusion. It may result in uncoordinated movements and irritatedness, agitatedness, and it ends up causing brain damage to the point where it may end up putting the patient into a coma or causing death. Many of the end-stage liver disease, end-stage cirrhosis causes of death in patients end up being hepatic encephalopathy or loss of blood having to do with gastrointestinal hemorrhaging. Sad disease.